Alright, while we're on the subject of food, there are two things last that would fall into this category that don't really go anywhere else. One of them's a Pheonix necklace. It's pretty simple. When you wear it and you have it on and your health drops below 20%, it heals you 20%. So say I'm 99 HP, just for the sake of example, it'll heal me 180. Two things, or I don't know. One, don't wear it the entire fight, cause yeah, keep it in your inventory. And two, you should only need one of these. They work great to stop claws. You don't need them though. I usually don't use them unless I have a target with claws and I really don't feel like dying to them. They're kinda cheap and unfair. But use them if you got them. And the other one is Redepmtion, that little prayer that people don't really use unless they're out of food and desperate. But it's actually pretty useful. It's the same thing as a Pheonix necklace in that it heals you 20%, except when you're 10% below health. I'm on the cool spell book, so I don't really have that. But it's a useful prayer when you have a target with claws or yeah. There you go. Pheonix necklace and Redepmtion. Alright, now we got everything annoying out of the way, primaries, blah 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 blah. Now we'll talk about gear. And I'll talk about gear, and I'll put it up on the screen of what you should use, in order from the best possible thing you can use to the worst possible thing you can, to the point of better than nothing. Start off with the helm. You should wear a Nezi if you can. If you can't, use a berserker. Can't use a berserker, use a warrior. If you can't use a warrior, use a runeful helm. Again, don't write these down. I'll put them in a link. Cape, always wear a team cape so you don't have to right click. Talk about that more later. Gloves, always use a recipe for disaster gloves if you have Addy or above unlocked. If you don't, use a combat bracelet, and if you don't have a combat bracelet, use myth or below gloves. Shield, I always recommend, if you have a rune defender, use it. They're painful to get. I don't have them at the time, so I don't use it. But use a rune defender if you got it. Obby shield after that, then a rune kite. For your chest and legs, always just bother with rune. Ring, always use a recoil. Always wear a recoil. It's simple. Just bring one. Always, 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 always. And your boots, I don't usually wear boots that have any use at all, but if you want to, I'd use climbers. Don't have climbers, adamant boots, and then there's no real reason to wear D boots. They're pretty much useless in Pking, but if you want to, I'm not gonna stop you. Then wear rune boots. Yeah. Okay, and your amulet. Amulet's kind of difficult. Most people just wear a strength amulet because it's the highest strength bonus in the game. Like, oh, that'll make me hit the highest, so I should use that. But in member Pking, I like to go for voice crack attack bonus over strength always, because it'll be more useful. You'll see. I wear a glory all the time, usually charged, so I can teleport if some butt nugget mage gets on me. If you don't have a glory, use a power, and if you must, use a strength amulet. But I don't recommend. I recommend either using a power or a glory, and that's everything for equipment. Now I'd like to go into spec weapons more in detail, talking more about each one. First, I'll talk about the disposable spec weapons, the ones that you lose when you die. Okay, first one's a DDS. It's very fast as a whip. Its damage is potentially incredibly high, and it's a fairly accurate weapon in that if you use it, it's probably going to hit at least once out of your specs. The spec is 2 hits with boosted accuracy and strength. It's not quite that accurate. It's reliable enough. I recommend to always have one with you. And D-Mace, okay, that first, Dragon Dagger uses 25% of your spec bar. D-Mace also uses 25%, is one really strong hit with lower speed than regular one. But the speed is actually identical to the one of a longsword, if you're familiar with that. I think it's incredibly inaccurate, and it's really useless. You'll never combo anyone with it, but it still hits from time to time. It's still pretty useless, and I'd avoid using one. You'll probably end up killing yourself with a Venge hit with it, just cause it never really hits. It can hit up to 500 or something though. A D-Long. D-Long also uses 25% of your spec bar. It's very underestimated in that it's a pretty accurate weapon. It has more accuracy than a D-Skim, if I would not lag so much. With the spec, it's very accurate, and it can hit 550 with Termite, 450 with the 15%. It's underestimated. It's still not that great. It's basically like a God Sword hit. Okay, next, as I'm putting Karasi's sword and this disposable weapons because you can die and lose with it, but you keep it over most everything. Yeah. I'll never use it myself, probably just because I don't really like it, and let's face it, the quests are hard and they got a lot of requirements. Anyways, it's a deadly weapon, and it's really scary. It's spec, it uses 60%, it's a mage based attack that goes off your strength bonus, and it can hit 600 easy, with Piety, and exactly how it works is it can hit anywhere from 50% of your max hit to 150% of your max hit. So if you can hit 400, it'll hit anywhere between 200 and 600. If you want to use this, if you're Pking for money, sure, go ahead and use Karasi's. I don't really like it, but hey, it's up to you.